Carti's definitely dropping next, and Carti was just chilling at King Carson's most recent listening party for his album "A Great Chaos," which, in my opinion, definitely didn't disappoint. He literally went 18 for 18, man. And anyways, Playboi Carti was outside with some of his fans and shit like that, and he's pretty much saying that he's dropping pretty soon. And then one of the affiliates, his name is Opium Baby, says Playboy Carti is next to drop. And so far, we've already had this year, we had Homicide Gang drop really, really early, drop Snot or Nod, then Destroy Lonely drop, If Looks Could Kill. And then, Destroy Lonely again dropped If Looks Could Kill Deluxe, which is technically just called the director's cut, but it's technically like a deluxe. And then recently, Ken Carson, I think 2 days ago, dropped a Great Chaos, and like I said before, it just didn't disappoint. So the only person next is Playboi Carti, and they're gonna be going on tour, I believe, November 19th. So it would just be perfect if pretty much all of Opium just dropped a project. Like, imagine how dope that'd be, man. Like, it'd just be the perfect rollout. And apparently the tickets weren't even selling that good, so it's just like, yo, why doesn't Cardi just drop to bring up the hype for legit everybody? You know what I mean? And Ken Carson, like, literally just took over Twitter. At least in my algorithm, everybody was just talking about of Great Chaos. Like, Great Chaos is album of the year. And evenly 4 days beforehand, and people were still saying a Great Chaos album of the year. And I haven't really talked about a Great Chaos, like the actual album, yet. So I'm just gonna touch base on that. I think Ken Carson's at 5.6 million monthly listeners. He legit gained like, I think, 50,000 monthly listeners since his drop of A Great Chaos. But man, this album definitely just slapped, man. It's only been 2 days, but I just know this is probably gonna be my top five this year, like 100%. Like, Green Room was pretty fire, pretty good intro. When I first listened to the project, I was like, I don't know if I feel it. But I don't know. I listened to the project maybe 5 or 6 times at this point now, which isn't really a lot just because I've been kind of busy. But Green Room is fire. Jennifer's Body I liked a lot. Fighting My Demons goes dummy hard. One of my favorites for sure. I love the last 40 seconds of it where he pretty much just starts like chanting, I'm fighting my demons, yeah. Track number 4, Singapore featuring Destroy Lonely. So good. Lose It, the distorted 808s in this is just fucking hard, man. It's so hard. Like, it literally like destroys my car speakers. Like, you can't even fully hear it. All you hear is just distorted bass. Track number 6 is Hardcore. At first I didn't really like hardcore, like the snippets of it. Like, I just didn't like the hook of it, but honestly when the song drops, it's actually like not half bad. It's like a pretty fire track, and definitely one of my favorites, surprisingly. I almost feel like it's just because I went in the perspective of not liking it, made me like appreciate it a lot more. Me and My Cup goes super hard. A lot of people seem to really enjoy this one a lot. I think this one's good. Definitely hard though. It's Over, really good. Succubus is really hard as well. It's a very unique sounding track. Very good. Paranoid featuring Destroy Lonely is probably one of my favorites as well. Pots goes hard. Like This featuring Lil Uzi Vert, Destroy Lonely. When I first heard the project, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I actually fuck with this track. Like, I didn't really know if I actually liked it, but it goes pretty hard after listening to it like 4 to 6 times, and it's just really interesting to see Uzi as like the veteran of the game. You know what I mean? Like, he used to be like Future when like Uzi was coming up. Like, Future was the veteran of the game, but now it's Uzi, and it's just such a weird perspective. You know what I mean? He's been in the game like 8 years now. Overtime goes pretty good. Vampire Hour, I really enjoyed. Nightcore and Nightcore 2, he brings in the hyperpop bag, which I really like. That's something I really enjoyed about his album called Axe, just like the hyperpop synths in it. It was just super fire. Rockstar Lifestyle, good, and I Need You, really fire. And that single dropped on February 14th, Valentine's Day of this year, and I'm just super glad it's on the project, if you know what I mean. But Man, I think Carti's next. Like, I don't think he'll actually drop, but like before tour, but it'd just be perfect. Like, literally everybody in Opium has dropped. You know what I mean? Homicide Gang, Destroy Lonely, King Carson. And now there's rumors that Homicide Gang may be dropping a project like next weekend. So that'd be really interesting. Like the new single of Pure Born. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's kinda mid. It's kinda like, I mean, I listened to him maybe 4 or 5 times, you know. First listen I was like, oh, this is pretty fire, but it's just like the beat is just like super piano driven, not very Pure Born sounding. So I'm just like, oh, the Pure Born just like fuck over Homicide Gang? Like what is this, man? But overall it's like a pretty fire track. It's like the more I listen to it, the more I'm just like, you know what, like maybe this is a better lane for Homicide Gang instead of going the super intense rage sounding shit, because they're kinda like street rappers. Like they need to be promoted more with street rappers. Maybe rap a more street rap type beats. You know what I mean? Instead of like the Playboi Carti rage type beats, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Playboi Carti is dropping next via Opium Baby.